I'm just gonna dive right in because you can always rewatch. So yesterday, April talked about what the bare minimum looks like when you're showing up through the hard times, through the challenging times. And I just want to touch on a couple things before, and kind of like as the bridge into what I'm going to talk about today. There are many reasons why you need to continue to do the bare minimum when you're going through the hard times. And I'm just going to bullet point those for you real quick. 1, it's exactly what you would want your coaches to do. Right? Right. It's exactly what you would want your challengers to do. Right? Right. So we lead by example. 2, it is so much easier to use the gas, right? And then just kind of keep steady than taking it off, having to start again. Taking it off, having to start again. So even if you're doing the bare minimum, if you're showing up through your hard, you're still rolling with that momentum. And lastly, you are literally showing up and showing your people that life is hard, but you're showing up anyways. Because sometimes we just need to see someone else doing it, right? So there are 3 major reasons why it is so important that you show up every day, all right? And that's gonna look different. But it's what we want them to do. And we can't expect our coaches and our challengers to do things that we are not willing to do. If you have coaches that are very hot and cold, and trust me, I've been that hot and cold coach. Here's what I've always been really good at. And it is why this will be my 60th month, 60 consecutive months in Success Club. And this is why. Because you will never see me quit. My stories will never be empty. They will never be cleared out. Even if they are me crying, even if I'm not talking for a whole day in my stories. No, Cora, I'm doing work. Please go back. I'll come in a little bit. So showing up looks different for me if I'm going through a rough depression patch or a really bad pain day. But I'm still showing up. When I broke my neck, I showed up. It was hard. I didn't want to, and it wasn't always positive. But I showed up. I did a cleanse. I focused on my nutrition. I drank my Shakeology. I did 30 extra minutes of PD because I wasn't doing 30 minutes of exercise. I still spent that time. And you know what? I told my challengers and my followers and my coaches to sweat for me. So if something has happened to you where you can't actually do it yourself, go into your challenge group, go into your team page, and ask other people to do it for you. Because if they're doing it for you today, you're way more likely to show up and do it the next day. And then you have something cool to talk about. Yeah, you couldn't do it today, but these women showed up for you. It's something, right? So just get used to showing up. And here's something that I share because this is very true for me. And if you follow me, you know this. It will make total sense. But I can't hide things. If I'm hiding things that I'm struggling with, I'm not totally showing up on social media. Right? I've half checked out. And that's kind of why you check out. When you check out, you have something that is heavy on your heart, something that is that you either can't share, you won't share, or it's truly just knocking you down. But most of the time, if you're not showing up, you're not sharing. So you're hiding that and you're holding on to that burden, and the only person carrying it is you. And the only narrative you have is your brain. So you have to find a way to share. Even if it is just, you don't have to share the problem. You can just say you're going through something. Who isn't going through something in 2020, ladies? What you can share is the tools that are getting you through. So find a way to share the tools. Whatever is helping you get through right now, even if it's just helping you tread water, that's what you share. You don't always have to be the person in the front who's doing all the things. Maybe you're just holding onto a life raft, but I need you to share what that life raft, what that life raft is. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Like when I'm having a really bad depression day, my stories are going to be things like personal development, pictures of me doing stories, videos of me doing personal development. Probably me singing. I love putting on some Demi Lovato and going to town. So that's usually on there. My light box, journaling, my meds, exercise, all of the things that I do that help. That's what's in my stories, because I'm doing those things anyways. Stop being selfish with the things that are getting you through your hard. And I need you to look at it that way, because those little tools, those little things are enough for you to show up and share even when you're struggling. Because you struggling is so different than everyone else struggling out there, because they don't have these tools. They don't have this community. They don't have a group chat that they can pop in and be like, guys, and they build you up. They don't have that. You do. That's enough. All right? So sometimes when I'm really struggling, my invites, especially this year, it's been very appropriate, are mental health check-ins. Hey, I'm struggling lately, and if I'm struggling, it usually means I'm not alone. So I just wanted to check in, see how you're doing. Hope you're doing well. If you need me to sweat for you this week, something like that. It's usually a mental health check-in. And then it's usually my invite part is, let me know if there's anything that I can do for you this week. Because I feel better when I'm helping others. Because that is true for me. If I can help someone in any way, it's going to lift me up. It's going to make me feel better. And no matter what I'm going through, if it's hard, feeling better is a good thing. So I tell people that. But I'm also being super nice and genuine when I'm doing it. So my invite could simply be that. Also, when we're talking about invites and hard times, this is something that I've done. Now I'm kind of on but I will also say seasons of life, like April was saying yesterday. The whole first year of Cora's life, it did not look like my work schedule now. When everybody was like, you need a work schedule, I was like, yeah, right. I just work when I freaking can. And if that's the season you're in, then that's the season you're in. Here's what I did in that season. When I had a day of the week when I was feeling good and I had times, I didn't set a daily invite number. I set a weekly invite number. So maybe weekly, let's say you want to invite 5 people a day, you invite 5 days a week. That's 25, right? So instead of 5 a day, your goal 5 a day, 10 a day, whatever it is, it's so much a week. And so if on Monday my kids nap and all the stars align and I could watch Grey's Anatomy, oh no. You do as many invites as you can because you're feeling good, and then you can have those conversations throughout the week after, right? So there have been times where if my goal was 50 invites for the week, if I was feeling good and I was having a good day on Monday, I would do all 50 invites on Monday. And then I would not invite the rest of the week unless it felt like honestly natural, right? I wouldn't sit down with separate times and be like, it's time to invite. If I was naturally in a conversation and it felt right, then I wouldn't not. But I met my quota that I had set for myself for that week. And then I gave myself the rest of the week to have those conversations. So think about it. If you work during the week and you are struggling, set aside an hour on Saturday morning and send out all your invites for the week. If that's what you need to do, figure it out. Figure it out. You are a CEO and a business owner. You just can't take a freaking week off. You can't. Because that also sends the message to people watching you that you're like, no, my followers know I'm committed. They know that about me. They know that no matter what happens and what news I get tomorrow and what in the world comes my way, they know I'm going to fight through it. And they know I'm going to show up while I'm doing it. Because I've been doing that for 6 years. It has looked different in different seasons of life, but it is always showing up. And that's how I hit Success Club. Because people see that. It not only inspires other people, and here's the thing, everyone has bad days and hard times. They need to see that in you too. Do you know why stories are huge? Because you can get to know someone. So be real. If you really can't talk about it, then share a picture of you. Like, I can't actually talk about my depression if I'm on a bad depression day. So those aren't the days where I'm setting a video and talking into my stories. But I'm still showing up. I'm still sharing. And those days I'm heavier on sharing the tools because you have them. And I do look at mental health check-ins as an invite because no matter what anyone is struggling with, these tools are at the heart of what helps me, and I struggle with a lot of freaking things. A lot of things. And no matter what you're struggling with, these tools will help you through it. And you know why you want to back away? Because you know that. I need you to fight. I need you to show up because you said you would. Because you want your people to. Because you deserve all of that, right? And it helps. This business has gotten me through the hardest times in my life. Instead of it being a burden in those times of my life, it has been an extra tool. And you need to understand that community, that support, the accountability of having to show up through my hard and not just mentally check out and say, get all like I want to do. That has been a game changer for me. Because I can't ever go to that place. And I'm so glad. Because I fought like hell to get away from that place. Chances are you did too. So why go back there when you know that this can get you through the hard? And if you lean in and you show up while it's hard for you, you are going to crush so many objections. You're going to have less hesitation when you ask people to join you because they saw you do it. They trust you. They want that fight. All right? So what did I just talk about? So set a weekly number instead of a daily number. If you're really, if life is really freaking hard right now, set a weekly number of invites and crush it as soon as you can in the week. And then spend the rest of the week following up. Speaking of following up, follow-ups are super important but they can be really exhausting when you're struggling in your life, right? When you're struggling, it's exhausting to have long conversations with people about their problems, and that's a big part of what we do. So it has been easier on my mental health and made it so much more efficient for my business to have a system. And this is my system. I ask people if they want more info. I don't ask them if they're interested. I ask if they want more info on whatever I'm inviting them to or asking about, right? Then, after that, if they say yes, great. What's your email? Then I send them an email snippet with the info to whatever I'm talking about. And in that email snippet is my Jot form. Also, info about why I love what I do or what we're doing or why and what it entails, right? And then if this all sounds great to you, great, let's take the next step, fill out this form, and I'll be in touch. They fill out the Jot form. They tell me exactly what they want. So I don't have to ask a million questions. Okay, what's your email? What's your Shakeology flavor? Do you want this? Do you want that? Oh, you can get this. Oh, do you want to be a discount coach? I don't have any of those conversations. I don't ask any of those questions anymore, and it's way less exhausting. So, Jot form, it's free. Add it into your Gmail, Google snippet. I've done trainings on those. You can check my YouTube. So from that Jot form, then I have a follow-up email snippet that has all the info for the deluxe and the regular challenge pack, completion pack, whatever I'm talking about, right? So I can edit a little bit depending on the person, and then boom, that's already done. So literally, like, the only thing that I had to do here is send an invite and get an email. It's not overwhelming. And then Google Streak is my follow-up, is how I track. And anyone I track is anyone that I sent an email to. So once they get an email sent out, which is how I send them info, I don't track my invites. All right? I only track once I send them information, because if I send them information, they were interested, and it is my job to follow up with them. Okay? So make sure that you have a way that you are tracking the people who you are sending information to. I only need you to track the number of invites. If you don't write them down, I don't care. But I need you to follow up with the people who you're sending info to, right? So those are the people that I track. I have different columns in my Google Streak. It's like potential coaches, potential challengers, new coaches, new challengers. It's super simple. Super simple. It's not hard. I am not tech savvy. So if I can do this, I know you can do this. Basically, you need to have a system that isn't daunting to you. I need you to have a system that makes it easy for you to flow through, so it doesn't feel like follow-ups are like, like, have you ever had a bunch of messages in your inbox and you're like, fuck, I don't want to open those. This is what I'm talking about. So if you've had those thoughts, you need a system that provides you with confidence that, like, okay, cool. Like, all I need is their email. I can do that. I can do that. And even if they have questions, you can answer them, right? But, like, for the most part, it's a really easy flow and a lot less questions. And I'm never asking anybody if they want to sign up as a discount coach. Like, it's literally in my form. They tell me. And it even has options of, like, I want to work. Like, tell me more about your team, or I just want to do the discount, or just the discount for now. Like, it even has different options. I'm happy to share the Jot form. I'm sure I just copied Hannah's Jot form that she was using. She was, like, talking about it in the beginning of 2020, and I was like, yes, girl, yes. Changed my life. Do it. So I want to quickly talk about leaning in. If you're in a situation where you can't work out, fine. Your workout time is extra PD. It's time you were already spending anyways. Don't tell me you don't have it. Instead of binge watching TV, you're listening to personal development. If you're really, really struggling and you're really having an off lazy day, alternate it. Personal development, TV show. Personal development, TV show. I also encourage you to reach out to people. That's why I like the mental health check-ins. They actually make me feel better. Like, it makes me feel better. One, I usually get back that like other people are struggling too, and it's always good to feel like you're not alone. Two, I am able to help people even when I'm struggling, and that to me is beautiful. That to me is freaking beautiful. When you can help someone else when you are struggling. And like, that is everything to me in this business, because I struggle a lot, and helping people is who I am, because I'm an Enneagram 2, and my love language is acts of service. So I literally like love on people and do things for people to help them. It's how it's my core purpose. It is how I love. It is all of the things. So it is everything to me when I am struggling, when I feel like I have literally nothing left, when I can actually like help somebody in that place. It's like, wow, right? It's not going to feel like you're doing anything major when you're really struggling. But even those little things, even showing up, if it's even just to offer what's getting you through, it matters to the people following you. And it matters to your credibility. Like, for real. Have a group chat. Get a Success Club partner. Let's see mine on the back there, Michael. But honestly, my first go-to when I know that stuff is starting to like go south up here is I pop in the Diamond chat. So you need some kind of chat with other coaches. This I need a coach chat. I need people who are in this bubble, because people outside of this, they don't get it. It's more like and I don't want to say pity, because they're not trying to like, they're not doing anything out of spite or anything wrong, but they're not in the same place of growth and dedication that we are. And so you need someone in this business to run with, because it can be lonely. It can be hard. And this isn't hard work, but it is hard to show up on your worst days. It is hard to show up when you feel like you have nothing left. And I know that. But you're still showing up regardless, because unless you are totally throwing in the towel and ending your life, you're doing it. You're freaking doing it. So give yourself some credit. Show the world, even if it's barely. Right? They need to see, they need to know. Get in the group chat. So that's the first thing, is I go in the group chat and I get out of my head, basically, because the monologue that's happening in my head, it just keeps playing over and over, and I'm always the problem, right? Like, I'm always the problem in my head. And sometimes even just venting and getting that message out makes you realize how ridiculous you're being. And so sometimes, now, there are things that you're not being ridiculous and they're really heavy. But no matter what it is, it always feels less heavy if you're not the only one who knows about it, and if you're not the only one who carries it. So reach out to the group. And even, here's another reason why you need to reach out to the group. So tell the group, hey, listen, I'm struggling this week. If you could tag me in your BAT stories, I would love you. And then even if you're struggling on getting your BAT in, now your team is tagging you in their BAT stories so you can share. So if you can't work out today, you know you're like really struggling, tell your tribe to tag you in their stories, right? And I don't want to hear, like, anyone who tells me that they don't have a healthy recipe to share every day. Here's the thing. Here's why that is on our BAT. And yes, I do share recipes, but not every day. That is on there, one, to share value, yes. But the main reason is because we need to show people that we're way more than just drinking shakes, that we eat real food. So even if it is chicken noodle soup with too many noodles, you share it on your stories because you're a human and we're about balance, right? So like, don't feel like if you have a pizza night with your family that can't be your recipe or I know it's not a healthy meal, but whatevs, like, as long as there are way more healthy meals than unhealthy meals, you're okay. Go into any of the challenge groups, Go into BOD. There are so many recipes. Even just screenshot on your screen record on your phone, scrolling through the recipes and share that to your stories. Like, the green and the yellow should always be filled in, even on your worst of days. Even on your worst of days. And I'll tell you, what needs filled in on that purple is responding to questions, comments, likes, and a post. And your stories need to be there. Your poll can be something non-Beachbody. So I'm not heavy inviting when I'm going through, just like April said, you know, I may not be like, if I'm really, really struggling, it's hard for me to recruit because I put a lot into my team, into my coaches, and I want to feel like I'm there to show up for them. But I am always showing up. Always. And this business is behind that because I didn't before coaching. And I tell people that. And that's part of my story. That I didn't fight through things like this. That I was the victim of my life. And that now everything that hits me and everything that happens to me, I talk about this all the time, I use that pain to help others. I use whatever horrible situation or whatever struggle I'm going through to help others. This business has given a purpose to my pain. And for somebody who has a lot of it, it's everything. And it's something that you wouldn't think about promoting about a business, but if you're gonna go through the struggles anyways, if you're gonna have the pain in your life, wouldn't you want something that makes it better? Wouldn't you want something that makes it worth it? I need you guys to understand that. I need you to understand the true potential of this business and what it can really do for you in the hard times of your life. And I'm sorry, but if you're not freaking motivated after this video, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, go out there and share what's working for you, what's freaking not working for you. Just be you. You're gonna get through the hard regardless. We know that. Even if it's barely. They need to see it. Thriving or barely surviving, they need to see it all. That's the journey. That's the job. All right. Have a great week, guys. Thanks for tuning in.